Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, I am going to go through every drink I can possibly think of that you may entertain drinking in your fasting window. There are some that are like absolute yeses, and some of them that are absolute nos. Okay, I get asked this question a lot. So I decided to pull everything out of my refrigerator that I can possibly find to try to show you what I drink in my fasting window, which is actually surprisingly a lot. Well, I'm going to show you that. And what are like absolute no's. I will not drink those. How about we start with the no's first? So a lot of people think that fasting is just staying away from food. So if you're new to fasting, I just want to tell you that's not the type of fasting that I'm advocating for. I'm advocating for fasting where your blood sugar comes down so that your body can switch over into the fat burning energy system, which means juices are off the list. So I don't care if it's organic. I don't care if it's like a fresh pressed green juice at your local health food market. I don't care if it's orange juice. Absolutely no juices off the list for the fasting window. So let's make that really clear right here and right now, because a lot of people ask me, well, what do you think of juice cleanses? Juice cleanses in general have such a small benefit compared to what you can do if you keep that blood sugar low and you switch over into the energy metabolism that comes from burning fat. Okay, second thing, I don't have it here because I don't keep it in my house anywhere, and that is soda. Diet soda, regular soda is absolute no. Hopefully you all know that NutraSweet will absolutely raise insulin levels. So even though it might not spike glucose, it can raise insulin and it'll make you more hungry. Sugary soda, I hope it's obvious that that's going to raise your blood sugar. If not, then I want to be the first to tell you that there is nothing good in soda, and I get that a lot of you like it. But when we come to this fasting lifestyle, if you're going to stay with soda, it has to go into your eating window. So those two, juices, sodas, doesn't matter if they're diet, doesn't matter if it's a cold pressed green juice, they're off the table. Okay, the other thing that's off the table in the fasting window, but I know a lot of you like to try it, is wine or alcohol of any kind. Now remember that even though alcohol may not raise your blood sugar, it actually can lower it. It still is stressful on the liver, and it's the liver that makes ketones. So in your fasting window, you will pull yourself out of a fasted state. You will put more stress on your liver if you are drinking alcohol in your fasting time. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, what about if I break a fast with alcohol? Same thing. Remember that you've made this metabolic switch over into the fat burning system. And when you drink alcohol when you're operating from that system, it's very stressful on the liver. So get yourself back into the sugar burning system first, and then go ahead and have your glass if that's what you choose to do. So those are kind of the big no's. Now, let's talk about the absolute yeses, and then I'm going to talk about the maybes. Okay, so here are the yeses. For starters, mineral water. Absolute mineral water is fine. LaCroix, I know you're all going to ask me, like, what about Pellegrino, LaCroix, wherever you're from? Yes, as long as it doesn't spike your blood sugar, but I would say it's pretty rare for mineral water to spike your blood sugar. So that's a yes. Second thing, regular water. Yeah, of course. Now, I will tell you, in my community, in our Reset Academy, we've been really experimenting with different things in the fasting window to kill hunger. And my new favorite is hydrogen water. So this is actually a glass of hydrogen water. The last 3-day water fast I went on, all I drank is hydrogen water, and it absolutely killed my hunger because it feeds the bacteria in your gut. So when those bacteria are fed, oftentimes you don't get hunger signals. But hydrogen water is can be an absolute savior for those of you going into these longer fasts if you want to kill hunger. Another hunger killer, and I want to highlight, and I've highlighted before, is Yerba Mate Tea. So there's great evidence showing that Yerba Mate can help us get into that fat burning system quicker, that it can help with hunger in a fasting window. So it's pretty cool. But it's, a lot of times I'll go and I'll grab some Yerba Mate Tea, or in the winter time, I'll actually make a hot Yerba Mate Tea. But, if you're in a longer fast and you're just getting kind of bored and you want a little something extra, this is when Yerba Mate Tea can come in handy. Okay, another one, and again, some of these are local to me, but if you stop and think about them, you have them near you too, or you can make them yourself. So my other favorite thing is ginger juice. Now this is not sweetened. This is fresh pressed ginger and lemon. It does not raise my blood sugar. If you can make that at home in your fasting window, I'm pretty sure it won't raise your blood sugar too. One of the things that we love about ginger is it is a bitter, and bitters can help the liver. So it can actually assist you in getting over to the fat burning system and priming that system. So often I will drink this throughout my morning in my fasted state, and it can help me not only with hunger, but it really nourishes that liver so that it can do better at making ketones.
Okay, check this out. I have a free fasting guide for you all. It's free, and it's going to teach you all the basics of fasting. It's going to teach you how to kill hunger when you fast, which is really cool, and it's going to show you how to break your fast, among many other things. All you got to do is click on the link below and enjoy.
Okay, now I'm going to show you the maybes, and after that, I'm going to show you one of my favorite hacks when I'm in a fasting window and my brain is getting a little fuzzy. I'm going to show you the hack I use to be able to sharpen it up, especially before like a podcast interview or something like that. Okay, what about things like collagen powder and bone broth? Okay, these are both some of my favorite. I do not do collagen in my fasting window because it normally pulls me out of autophagy and it tends to spike my blood sugar. So this has actually been my go-to for breaking a fast. So I no longer put collagen powder in my coffee. I use it in a shake to actually break my fast. And in that shake, I'll often combine both of these. Paleo Valley's grass-fed bone broth protein powder is my favorite. I love to combine these two in a yummy shake along with, shoot, I didn't bring it out here, Perfect Aminos has a chocolate amino powder, and I put these three together as a break fast. So they don't go in my eating window. They start to help me, or in my fasting window, they transition me out of that into the eating window. So remember, there's the fasting window, and then there's the break fast, and then there's the eating window. So I look at that break fast as your transition, and what you do in that is really important. So this would be in the transition window. Okay, last hack. This is one of my favorite. So this is a new one that I'm doing. I don't recommend you do it all the time, but right before a podcast, when I'm about maybe 15 hours into a fasting window and I'm starting to get some ketones, but I want to push through maybe to a 20-hour fast, I will do a little exogenous ketones mixed with some perfect aminos, just a little bit. And the reason for that is perfect aminos help to make neurotransmitters. So it lifts your mood, lifts your mental clarity, and a little bit of exogenous ketones moves you deeper into that ketogenic state where the brain is in massive clarity and it can function at its best. Now, I don't do this all the time. Because the more you supplement with exogenous ketones often makes it more difficult to be able to get into ketosis later. We want to use your own internal chemistry. But that's a lot. I mean, it's funny when you think about drinks, like there's a lot to think about. When we look at fasting, the best thing is just drink water. That's the best. If you want to have some coffee, just test it on your blood sugar, make sure it's clean. And then when it becomes a function of boredom and you're just needing a little bit more, remember that you can add in some of those absolute yes that I talked about in the middle of this video. So as always, I hope that helps. If you want to dive into autophagy more, I have a great video called The Best Way to Extend a Fast and Boost Autophagy. So go check out that video. Once you click into this fasted state, somewhere in between 8 to 12 hours, now the trick is, how do we stay there longer?